Hi, everyone. I'm Gordon, partner at the Legal Tech Fund, and welcome back to In Studio. Today, I'm joined by Chris Pearson, founder and CEO of BLACKCLOAK. This is Chris's second time in studio, and a lot has changed since our last conversation, Chris. In this session, we're going to build on that last conversation to look at what's changed in digital executive protection, where the market's heading next, and why this category is becoming fundamental to how companies think about executive risk. Chris, great to have you back in studio. Let's dive in.
Great to be here, Gordon.
Chris, since we last spoke, what's changed in the threat landscape around executives and their families?
I think a few things. And first of all, right, the world of artificial intelligence, of AI, has really enabled, right, attackers, those cyber criminals, nation states, to just go ahead and wreak havoc that much faster. The amount of open source intelligence information they're able to gain on board members, executives, and their families. This used to take weeks, a month of dedicated teams looking at a company. Now you can do the same thing and just apply a tool, the same methodology, and literally you can have your results in a few minutes and literally have a bake a cake instructions on how to take down an executive and or their family. Which was really scary stuff, given that time is the one thing that right defenders really rely upon. And so that's really changed things. I think second is the world as it exists today. Maybe we'll get into this a little bit more, but at the end of the day, there's this massive convergence that has happened between physical and digital risks. So cybersecurity and physical executive protection, that world has really converged, right? After the tragic murder of Brian Thompson, I know I was with you on that morning back in December of 2024. It's a whole new world out there. And we saw that continue in 2025 with attacks on Park Avenue, New York, with attacks on congressmen in Minnesota, and the continuing rise of personal violence against key persons, key individuals. The digital breadcrumbs and trails that are out there just keep on getting more and more and deeper. And we executives keep on putting more and more information out there. And as a result, those risks are increasing, the speed is increasing, and it's not just for the exec, but their family members are really being targeted as well.
Yeah. I wanted to head there next. You mentioned when you think about executive protection or high net worth protection, it's not just cyber, it's privacy, it's physical. Are those coming together today? Are they still treated as separate? Where are we?
Yeah, it's absolutely a lot has changed in the past 2 years, a lot. It really is totally converged. Do you have CSOs, chief security officers, that now have responsibility in on cyber, or chief information security officers that have responsibility in for physical security? At the end of the day, the board is just saying, hey, you're in charge of protecting our assets, and our people are our most important assets. And right up at the top on the About Us leadership page, those 10 board members, the 20, 30 C-suite, and the other 50 executive leadership team members, the people that your company relies and depends upon, they're material. And it's a big risk. We've seen that come together, number one. Number two, in terms of right different alerts happening, maybe it's a brand alert over in marketing, a physical security alert over in the corporate security side, a digital alert for something on the cybersecurity side, right? Executive management teams and leadership teams have basically said, hey, we just want to know what is happening, want to make sure it's protected, and we don't want this multiple fiefdom area. We want things combined and converged. And so that's one area where we've been really successful, because we have people from all those backgrounds as part of the company that are manning kind of the walls and the fence line, so to speak. But we've just seen a massive shift, and the convergence is there right now. It's not coming. It is there. It is present. And if you haven't thought about it in that way, you really should think differently.
It's interesting. It sounds like it's becoming cross-functional, with maybe BLACKCLOAK being the organizer of some of those activities as you sell to the enterprise.
It is. There's a little bit of something for everyone within BLACKCLOAK, right? It's not just privacy, right? It's not just cybersecurity. A lot of the stuff that we do actually is on travel protection, executive threat assessments, and it blends that physical side of things. And then with our OSINT team, our intelligence team, as well as some of the folks that we have that are able to do some physical security items, it really does call for that unified solution. And that's what's been missing from the marketplace for decades.
Love it. All right, let's talk specifically about BLACKCLOAK. What's resonating in the market with the platform today? What are you hearing from customers? Why are they coming to you?
Yeah, really three key things. Number one, on the privacy side, so BLACKCLOAK just had a big announcement a few weeks ago on the actual full build out of a unified privacy protection platform. And really, that involves a whole host of items like Google suppression, removing your homes, removing your boats, your yachts, all the rest of these items, data broker records, really focusing on how do you reduce and mitigate down, right, those digital breadcrumbs that are out there that are about you, all built by us, owned by us, operated by us. It's BLACKCLOAK solution through and through for this specific audience, and folks are loving that. Second, the physical security items that we have right now, we have multiple different folks that are looking at the executive threat assessments, the travel advisories, different warnings out there that combines physical and cyber. This is where it's at, folks, and we're there, and that's been really, really well received. In some cases, it's actually been the case that CISOs have been wanting this information from their partners, but they haven't been getting it, right? The license and the seats are over in some other group. And so as a result, now they have insight and they can actually be a better partner without taking away licenses or money or market share or anything. And even when maintaining separation, maybe the CISO reports into the CIO and the CSO reports into legal or compliance. But as a result, we're able to get people together more, and they love that. They absolutely love that. And third, a lot of our time recently has been spent on deepfakes and impersonation. So our impersonation protection module really is meant to be this one solution that doesn't matter whether there's a phone call, a text, a tweet, a WhatsApp, a Zoom, a team, none of this stuff matters. Within our network, within our circle of trust, you're able to determine whether someone is who they say they are or not because of that impersonation protection module that you can add on to your BLACKCLOAK membership. It's just really, really important. And quite honestly, with the amount of rising attacks here, we're seeing this need more and more.
Yeah. I want you to rewind a little bit to some of the early days of BLACKCLOAK. And I can remember talking about like the mounds and mounds of surveys you did, of talking to the market, surveying how executives live, and then how do you combine technology with what you wanted to build together to offer them this protection. But when you do so, you maybe enter friction into the equation, a different way of engaging or using. And just talk a little bit about where that was at the time, where it is today, and how important that's been to offer something seamless that the customer can use.
Yeah, I mean, we have phenomenal clients and members. We have phenomenal customer advisory boards, both on the enterprise side as well as on the private wealth, ultra net worth side of things. And so getting in feedback is super important to us. And our teams are literally able to sit next to individuals, next to board members in person, and see and understand where those risks, where those friction points come in to play. And then we're able to, number one, solve it from a technology perspective. Two, solve it from the human concierge perspective. Once again, BLACKCLOAK is a solution that is a product. It's a tech-enabled service, though, at the end of the day, which means there's a strong concierge aspect to this. This is something that no one's been able to bring to market ever before, blending those two pieces together. It's hugely important to what we do. So as a result, right, we've built that up over the years, really, really partnering with our members. But more so, what we do is this: we make sure that we're not just a tech company. This is not just an app that you see, an app that you interface with, right? There are thousands of apps that are out there doing whatever they do. We want to make sure that this is a relationship. This is people that you actually know who you are working with, know your team, and that's where the special concierge really comes into play. And so as a result, we are not forcing folks to do things that they don't necessarily want to do. We're working with them to educate them, to train them, to bring them along that path, bring them along that journey, but in really bite-sized chunks. So there is something in it for everyone. This is why our relationships with our clients last for so long, is it's that personal relationship, bringing them through the pathways. And every single month, every single quarter, something new happens that means that we have to re-engage with our members. And they love that, and so do we. But it's really, really all bent on making sure that we're not talking tech, that we're talking problems and solutions. And then key, we're able to actually implement immediately the solution they need. Yeah. That's what reducing friction is really all about.
It's really interesting because that's probably different than the average cybersecurity company, right? Like you have this user and you're delighting them at the same time. Just philosophically, like, how do you think about delighting the user? And do you want BLACKCLOAK to be front and center every day, all day? Is it a fade into the background when you need it? We're there. Like, how do you think about the user
Yeah.
experience.
I mean, the nice thing is that there's a journey for everyone. Like, if you have we have a company and maybe there are 50 executives that are there. Maybe their families have, four or families of four. So it's 200 members that we're protecting, right? That those two adults may have diametrically opposed views of privacy and cybersecurity. Because we're bespoke, we're going to make sure that we're bringing people along to what it is they want, to where they want to go, and to help them get there. I think that's really, really key about what we do. But once again, it's a different mind shift of we're not just producing technology. BLACKCLOAK is built, owns, and operates kind of the three constituent pieces of our platform: our intelligence platform, our mission control, our SIM SOAR, and then our actual endpoint product that the clients and members actually see. But we can't just be a company that says, here's a whole bunch of tech that will solve your problems. Good luck, right? We just can't do that. And everything we do has to be written, not in tech talk, but in common parlance. Your mom, my mom, they both have to be able to understand it, no matter what their technical expertise are, in terms of what do I want to do? How do I want to do it? Where do I want to go? And once again, that human element plays so powerfully into this. It really is a different mindset. But once again, in order to be successful here, you have to own, operate all of your own technology. Simply providing other people's technology isn't going to be good enough. Maybe good enough to get started for the first 6 months, but I mean, after that point in time, it's I can do this on my own type of thing. You have to have technology that's purpose built, language that's purpose built, and a flow that's purpose built for your audience, and then the people to back it up.
Yeah. Chris, what are the signals or data points that are demonstrating that BLACKCLOAK is resonating in the market and at scale? Like, what do you point to know that this is working?
I mean, I guess looking internally, the massive growth is always one of those things that will tell you that. But I mean, more poignantly, it's the love of our clients, right? The love of our members. So we always say that we want to delight them, right? We want to have great empathy and great respect. We always want to innovate. We always want to act, right, as one team there. But at the end of the day, it's all about delighting our members, making sure that we're their first phone call, their first email, making sure that we're there for them. And we get that back in terms of our net promoter score. We get that back in terms of our onboarding satisfaction score. We get that back in terms of the letters that we get, the holiday gifts that we get, the accolades that the team gets, in the sense of satisfaction that they get by the massive amount of thank yous that they have, but also that two-way dialogue, two-way communication. Hey, have you guys ever thought of this? Interesting. We always want to be getting those types of feedback and signals in, and getting them in without asking for it is even better, because it means that they care. And that really, it comes right all back around to user engagement, user delight, user love, and satisfaction.
Love it. Chris, let's hit on AI a little bit. You mentioned it a little bit in your opening. Just kind of level set. What are we seeing today from a threat perspective as it pertains to AI? What do you view as the biggest risks out there? And what is BLACKCLOAK doing to support its customers in this new kind of threat vector?
Well, let's talk three areas. First, just an overall in terms of open source intelligence, kind of the threat intel that dedicated attackers like cyber criminals and nation states are able to conduct. AI really enables them to look for information that's out there on the open web, the deep web, dark web, data broker sites, grab that information, create an attack pattern, figure out who's the husband of the executive, the wife, the spouse, the kids, the significant other, figure out what activities they're involved in, their personal emails, phone numbers, all their addresses, all that information, and create a narrative, create an attack that's specialized for them, and to do it in mass, right? To do thousands of these in a day, and then to target who you want to from it. That has really, really changed the game. We're not just talking about like automating manual steps. We're talking about adding in an immense amount of smarts to this process, so that, right, you really can gain a successful attack and a foothold back into the family. So that's first and foremost. Second, we have seen a massive amount and a massive shift in normal fraud schemes, scams. This could be regular voicemail. We're not talking about deep fake voicemails yet, but we're talking about regular voicemail, a phishing, a smishing, a text message you get, a phishing email you get. These have all been massively refined. Gone are the days of misspellings, of bad dialect, of things that just don't apply in vernacular you would never use or see. These are really, really polished, finely polished pieces of work, and they're able to be deployed en masse. The amount of scams and schemes that we see here is just at an all-time high. In fact, about a month ago, IC3, the Internet Crime Complaint Center, released the findings from 2025. Almost $22 billion in reported losses. Last year was $16 billion. We just continue to grow year over year on the wrong value, the wrong metric. And these are people that actually report, which is probably less than 1% of the population. So add a good 0 or 2 zeros onto that number, and you get probably something more akin to where we're actually at. Third, deepfakes, voice cloning and deepfake video cloning. It used to be that you needed a 5-minute record, all the rest, not anymore. I mean, it's literally, you get 19 words, 30 seconds of voice from anybody's Facebook, Instagram, from different publicly traded company sites, all the rest. You get that information. You have a 100% perfect voice clone of that individual, and those are being levied against families. So you might have sponsored the JCC or the Philharmonic Orchestra or the gala down at the museum, whatever it is, in terms of your family or your company, and you gave that quick little speech on how important the kids are, the arts are, whatever it might be. Well, the fact of the matter is that cyber criminals are going to go target your family. They're going to target your family because the assets under management there are high. They're going to target the company, and they will use that on the voice side. On the video side, even more impressive. Gone are the days of put your fingers through your hair, turn your head to the left, to the right, up, down, hold a newspaper. Even the most recent ones, I can fully open up my jacket and close it, which used to have massive distortions on older models. It is, Gordon, it is perfect. It is absolutely perfect these days. This is the new area that just continues to have unrivaled success and unrivaled growth for cyber criminals. So we really got to focus on that.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a good reason then to think 3 or 5 years out with some of these new threat vectors, with the pace of, unfortunately, the tools that the bad guys have here. What does that mean for BLACKCLOAK? What does that mean for digital executive protection and where we're headed?
Well, I think, first of all, it is, we're the category creator, we're the leader, we're the pioneer of this. And so it's got to be a unified platform, unified threat response. So it has to include privacy and continue to do more on privacy each and every day. This is an area that's ripe for exploration. Second, the cybersecurity is just table stakes. Third, the home network. Our homes are living, breathing homes, and each and every holiday, it just gets right. I'm excited, but it also increases really that attack surface a lot more. I think that the real big areas of exploration here and expansion here is going to be on that physical security, right? Blending both cyber and physical together more in terms of more threat intelligence, travel protection, threat assessments, all the rest. I think that this is an area that is really, really exciting to look at. I also think that understanding different signals that are out there, different than corporations in terms of they've always had brand management programs, usually run by marketing department or legal, that are kind of like, hey, Coca-Cola, what's out there, what's trending, what are some different things, and looking at people there in their corporate life. But on the personal side, which is where BLACKCLOAK plays, this kind of executive intelligence side of things is really, really interesting. Very, very interesting. And I think that this is where we're going to continue to see more market growth and more market opportunity. So I think that it's going to continue to expand. I think that digital executive protection needs to be very careful. It needs to stay on that path of protecting the board members, C-suite, executive leadership team, senior leadership team. But it's one of those things where, and key persons, but it's most certainly something that is not for everyone at the level of sophistication that someone like BLACKCLOAK brings to bear. But I just see us expanding more and more.
Yeah, well, I can say it's been an incredible journey being partners with you over the past several years, and if this, unfortunately, the pace of threat development continues at its current pace, I would expect it to be an even faster journey for the next several years as well for BLACKCLOAK.
Always.
Let's end on one little fun one, Chris. For the listeners today, want to take something away from the conversation. Let's assume someone's not a BLACKCLOAK customer. You want to give them a freebie. Let's just help, maybe what's one tidbit, one thing that you think, executives, board members, key personnel, high net worth individuals are not doing today that they should be doing to protect themselves?
I'll give you two. I'll give you two, a free one, two free ones, right? So, I mean, but I am always still amazed at the number of executives, board members that are actually become victims of identity theft. This is a simple one. It's free. Put a credit freeze on Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You can't access your credit, and neither can the bad guys. And don't stop at you for that +1, right? That's going to be that's going to cause you a headache as well. You really got to get that under control. But the big one for everyone is this. So if you're an executive, you're the board member, all the rest. If you have a +1, if you have a husband, a wife, a spouse, a significant other, go think about what is their exposure, where are they, what are the things that they are doing. It could be on social media, it could be on community involvement. What are the things that they are doing that actually expose them to those risks and vicariously expose you? Think about the +1, right? Think about beyond yourself. That's always an area that's interesting. That's why BLACKCLOAK protects the entire family. But think about that. We have to get out of the mindset of, I'm the CEO of X, Y, and Z company, Acme Bank, and the cyber criminals, nation states have to attack me. Whoa. I mean, there's nothing to say they can't attack a +1. Right? Seems like it might be, you might have better luck, especially for folks that are at financial institutions and the government at large, Fortune 500. We represent like 22-23% of the Fortune 500. So, I mean, it might be that those people are all really well trained because of their CISO, their CSO. They're really hardened on phishing and able to spot things. What about that +1? Think about that.
That's awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, the bad guys don't follow the rules as we'd like them to. Is how they want to attack us.
Not at all.
Love the advice, Chris. As I mentioned, it's a pleasure to be partners with you, and look forward to continuing in that partnership together. Thank you for joining us in studio today.
Not a problem. Great to be here.